What?
Good evening and welcome to Gunner Shot. Today we're going to talk about the revolution in Bangladesh, which has turned into anarchy there. I thought about it a long time. Should I do this or not, and all that? But finally, I said, okay, let me go ahead with this dialogue or monologue. There's, well, that's how it is. But the situation in Bangladesh is not very great. I thought we must discuss it before something else happens there and things go out of control and then it's difficult to patch. Okay. Having said that, uh, from my side and all my friends and all those who come on Gunner Shot, a very happy Deepavali to all of you who are here, including those who have joined me in from Bangladesh. Okay, here we go. First, I'm going to talk about this, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to talk. Everyone knows. Those in India know. I'm sure those in Bangladesh also know that we've entered into a kind of a detente with China. They pulled back. Disengagement is taking place on the border. Today it's to be completed. Tomorrow there's going to be exchange of speeds for Deepavali. In this context, I want to put something across because whenever I did a video on Bangladesh, a lot of Bangladesh, audience came up and said, "Oh, what are you? You're nothing in front of China. China will sort you out. We will go towards China, and we are more interested in China and all that." I refrained from talking about it then, but now I'll talk. Look at this. This is a article in South China Morning Post, right? Chinese. So what do they say? They say that can Philippines emulate China-India border deal to defuse the situation or tension? And this is, in this article, if you go through, they want to use the India-China model for Philippines. That's a different story. But what do they say about India? Every Bangladeshi viewer must understand this. There's this chap called Don McLean Gill. He's from De La Salle University in Manila. What does he say? He says India is the only member of the Quad, US, Japan, and Australia, that has effectively and physically pushed back China. So he cites incidents between 21 and 23 when India pushed Chinese troops back from the Tawang district of the northeastern Indian state of Arunachal. He's referring to the Yangtze incident. He's also said that, look, China only responded to force, and it shows that their interest in peace with India stems from the realization that India is the only country that has managed to give them a bloody nose in a physical confrontation. No other democracy in the world has been able to do that. So to say that last week's agreement was achieved only through communication is not the case. India had to show some muscle for China to recognize that there should be peace in the border. So please understand, those who are from Bangladesh, China will do nothing against India. If it does, it will get another bloody nose. Okay? So those of you who've been threatening us, oh, we will let China in, all that, rethink in Bangladesh. Because I think Bangladesh has to rethink on these issues quite a bit. Now, this is an article from RSIS. What is RSIS? It's Rajaratnam School of International Studies from Singapore. This is their views. He says this 2024 border agreement represents a pivotal moment in contemporary Asian diplomacy, offering insights into the evolving nature of conflict resolution between major powers in the 21st century. While skeptics might view it as a temporary accommodation driven by immediate strategic considerations, The agreement's potential significance extends beyond its immediate military implication. It demonstrates the capacity of rising powers in plural, India and China, to manage territorial disputes through institutional frameworks and diplomatic innovation, even in the era of increasing global tensions and nationalist pressures. Looking beyond 2024, the true test of this agreement will lie in its ability to facilitate a broader strategic dialogue between India and China. One that addresses not just the territorial issues, but the fundamental question of how two rising Asian powers can coexist and potentially cooperate in shaping the emerging world order. So please understand, those of you who are from Bangladesh, you must understand what you're dealing with. You know, that's important. So when you people pass remarks to the effect that look, oh, China will sort you out, we will use China to sort you out, we will not allow you in, but we'll allow China in. Understand where you stand. Things change in geopolitics, like things are changing in your own country. And this I'm addressing broadly to you. Well, lot was spoken about the monsoon revolution and things like that, and that Hasina has been thrown out, and now we will be free, and this is our second liberation. What is the truth of the second liberation? That's what I want to put across to all of you, right? And then you'll understand what I'm talking of. Okay, this is what a video which is doing the rounds, in social media. What does it say? Okay, let's listen to this. Right, this is the one of the persons of the student leaders who masterminded the whole show, and he's a person who's admitting in a TV show in public, right, that they have resorted to killing cops, murder, everything to overthrow the Awami League. Have a look at it, right? Okay.
আমরা এটাকে বিপ্লব বলছি কিংবা গণঅভ্যুত্থান যাই বলেন না কেন, এটা কিন্তু কোনো সাংবিধানিক নিয়ম মেনে হয়নি, কোনো আইন মেনে হয়নি। আইন যদি মানতে যেতাম তাহলে কিন্তু এই বিপ্লব গুলো হতো না। যদি মেট্রো রেলে আগুন না দেওয়া হতো, যদি পুলিশদেরকে না মারা হতো, তাহলে এই বিপ্লবটা এত সহজেই অর্জিত হতো না, কিংবা ফ্যাসিবাদের পতন নিশ্চিত করা যেত না। সুতরাং এখানে কিন্তু নিয়মের ব্যত্যয় ঘটিয়ে পৃথিবীতে যত বিপ্লবের ইতিহাস আপনি দেখবেন না কেন, সবগুলো ইতিহাসই কিন্তু সংবিধানের কিংবা নিয়মের বাইরে গিয়ে কিন্তু বিপ্লবগুলো সংঘটিত হয়ে থাকে।
So there was nothing constitutional about the whole affair. Everything what was done, without law, illegally, criminally. And yet, the Bangladeshis call that this is a revolution. Just think where they are. But that's not the end of the story in Bangladesh. Okay? Now let me go further. The same people who were indulging in murder, arson, rape, loot, and burning of Hindus, everything, have been given immunity against all crimes they have committed for those 3 or 4 days. I mean, can you imagine? In the last episode with Mr. Shriya here, I showed Professor Yunus getting these 2 student leaders on stage, whom he called the masterminds on an international platform. He called them the masterminds of this revolution. And they said, how did they carry out revolution? Here is another student leader who's admitting to murder. And then the current government has given all these people immunity. So this is the Bangladesh revolution, which is now completely glowing into an anarchy. It doesn't stop here. Okay. Now there's a power struggle on. They want to throw the president out. There's tension. Right now, a certain amount of, heat is taken off. But last week, it was all over the place that the president will be thrown out now. Just think. And why was this president being thrown out? because he said, look, I heard that Sheikh Hasina had resigned, but I've not seen the letter. So people have went after him. There were, demonstrations outside his house by the same students. They wanted him to resign. Just think, if you, what would the state of Bangladesh be? You have a government which is not elected. It's an interim government which has usurped all powers. The elected leader has been sent off. We don't know where the resignation letter is, whether she resigned or not. There's a proof of criminality which has happened publicly, masterminded criminality admitted by the present chief advisor. This is a democracy which is happening. Okay. And then the president is also being removed. What is the law left? I understand it is the army which said, look, we are not going to let this happen. And we don't take orders from you, we take the orders from the president. And if the president is not there, who it is? And at this point of time, probably they've gone back a bit, but that's not the end of the story either. Okay, this has lingered for too long. You just look at it, security beefed up for president's resignation. And then this student leader comes out and says, the president's fate is a political decision, not a constitutional issue. There's no need to stage demonstration and all. We'll make him resign. This is complete anarchy. Okay? Complete anarchy. You see the dots, you connect the dots, how things are going. So I'm very clear, right from day one, I've been saying this was a staged anarchy. And this staged anarchy is now blowing out and showing itself in full form. Right? Of course, luckily the BNP is not for it. I mean, I don't know why. Probably they fear that they will also be marginalized. And at this point of time, they're not in great shape. So BNP is at odds with the student movement, and they are not with the students to remove the president. Okay, that's the only saving grace. I think today, if Bangladesh is surviving with some modicum of law and order, it is thanks to the Bangladesh National Party and the army. That's how it is. Okay. Incidentally, this video which I showed has been put out by the Awami League. Now, I'll come back to the Awami League a little later. But this video, the way they're coming out with things now, it implies that the Awami League is not dead. They might wish it away, but it can't go. Political movements don't die so easily. And this is a party which gave Bangladesh its independence. They might be on the back foot today, but that's okay. Haven't we seen it in India? How many parties were virtually wiped out? Same Janata Party had two people. No, so the BJP had just two people in the parliament. Today it's in the majority. Okay, right. So tension and Bangladesh. Okay, now the Bangladesh National Party is also conscious of the fact that there'll be a constitutional vacuum. But then, if these people buckle, which probably might be the next step, forget that constitution itself will go for a toss. Then it depends on how the army reacts. Okay? And the law and order situation in Bangladesh is going back to worse. Let's be very clear about that. Okay? Look at this. The moment the government has gone, the Supreme Court has repealed an earlier order of the government, and they have reinstated the Judicial Council. The Parliament had put a Judicial Council in place earlier. Now the Supreme Court has made its own thing, move. Okay, right. And then they want to reconstitute the election commission. So there's a search party for it. There's a search committee. This is more like a cordon search party in a counterinsurgency operation. Everything is being whitewashed. Surf ka dulai. So the judges on their own, they want to clear up the election commission and put in new laws. The constitution be damned. Then all the students have entered the secretariat to get their marks rescinded. Why? They couldn't pass higher secondary. So they say, look, we couldn't pass higher secondary because of the revolution. So please pass us. Otherwise, we'll commend this thing. Demonstrate. एक तो पढ़ते नहीं हैं, and they are involved in criminality. That's very clear. And then they want free pass. So where will Bangladesh go? So that means some goons will be made to pass. All the useless fellows will be made to pass. This is where they are. Okay. And then now there's one report which comes out, 2025 tak election ki baat mat karo. Now this government has already put in 3 months. After all, August the whole thing started. We're closing on to 3 months. And it will continue. Slowly it will continue. And there might not be elections. There might be something else. So there's a thing which is unfolding in Bangladesh which we need to understand. Okay. Now, there's some opinion which says holding processions is a constitutional right. Breaking the law is not. That's the energy advisor who's talking. So law is being broken, ad lib. That it's not the law advisor who's speaking, it's the energy advisor who's speaking. Why? Because power plants have been broken. What else can you do? I mean, just think who's to speak and who's not to speak is something which this thing. So what is being destroyed? So there's destruction, ransacking, that's what comes out when you read. Okay, then there's Mr. Brahmachalani's post. There's one of the top industrialists, they burned their factory. Why? Because he's supposed to be Awami League. Bas khatam. Usko rak kar do. So what are they doing? They're burning their own country. Right? Oh, this is the cake. This Joker who's on your thing. Let me open it up a little more so that you have a look at it. No, sorry. Yeah. Okay. You know who this man is? His name is Peter Haas. Peter D. Haas. What was he? He was the US High Commissioner in Bangladesh, or the US Ambassador to Bangladesh till the revolution, the instigated revolution. And this fellow was the one who, with all those Donald Lu and all those people who came last year to Bangladesh, to set up the whole story. He was very vocal about the whole affair, the elections and all that. The day he goes back to USA, in fact, he resigns from his post. And then he becomes the CEO of Accelerate Energy. And he leads a delegation to Bangladesh. Okay? And what do they do? See, the news is the Bangladesh-India gas pipeline project is cancelled. Okay? And in that place, the LNG project will be given to this Accelerate Energy, headed by Peter Haas. तो पूरा सर्कल हो गया ना अभी कि that complete instigation by this fellow. What for? To ensure that India-Bangladesh deals are broken, And now he's making money of the deal. And he'll line up all these fellows. And then once this revolution is done, there's someone flown in from the top, Nobel laureate G, become the chief advisor. And then mayhem starts. In between all this mayhem, this ambassador comes back for an energy deal. This is straight out of Robert Ludlum's or James Bond movies. और रॉबर्ट लुडलम के कहानी में ना ऐसे होता है. Okay, right. Now, in the midst of all this, these Chinese chaps also land up there. They come with one of their, ships. They also searching. कि है कहाँ? They also don't know where they are. And then Bangladesh says, "Oh, blood, come, आ जाओ. I will use you against India. आप use कर लो अभी." And I want to tell Bangladeshis, just think where Chinese are today, why they have gone back on the LAC. If you analyze, they are bleeding internally. And this analysis is ongoing in India. In fact, with me also. I've taken time off that to discuss Bangladesh because we have to understand what's going on in Bangladesh. It's our neighbor, 4,000 kilometers border with them. Oh, China will sort it out. This is the problem. Okay. So this is the thing. And then there is internal problem, floods, prices escalating, all that. There's no full stop in Bangladesh today on all these issues. So you have anarchy, complete, no law. जो मर्जी जो करना चाहता है कर लो. उसके बीच में अमेरिकन आ जाता है पैसा खाने इनका और ये खुश हैं. They are all very happy. भाई बांग्लादेश के साथ this is what their energy advisor is doing. So we should know where Bangladesh is and how to treat them. Is it time to wield the stick is the question. This is their cartoon, their own cartoon, not mine, from Dhaka Tribune. So you can imagine what their status is. Okay. This is what they say. Reforms require unity among our politicians. Okay, that's the interesting part. So they want unity. But what does it say otherwise? But you see this thing in the right corner where I've said Brahmachalani's another tweet. Military-backed UNS has already barred the Awami League students' wing, jailed countless number of leaders and members, and turned a blind eye to the extrajudicial killing of its activists. I've shown that to you. Now he tells FT the Awami League has no place for now in Bangladesh politics. So this is the kind of democracy which is coming in. Selective democracy, where a full-fledged party is being thrown away, completely whitewashed. Right? Can you do that? And then I rightly agree with this editor who says you require unity. But is this the unity you want? How can you wish away the wishes of people who still support Awami League and you call them faces? Obviously, they are being thrown out not because of democracy, but because of deals. And that American ambassador back as Accelerate Energy CEO is proof of the fact the whole story is engineered because the Awami League and everyone were against all this nonsense which was happening. Yeah, then of course they say we need to look forward and not back. I agree with them. And in this article, it's a very good article actually. If you read, he says, "Look, you might not like Sheikh Mujibur Rahman today, but don't forget that he's the one who got us freedom. We wouldn't have been a country without him. And he is no one, not a single person's, symbol. He is a symbol of a country. And if Sheikh Mujib had not been there, these chaps would have been still part of East Pakistan. और वही हालत हुआ होगा जो पाकिस्तान में हो रहा है इनका, और भी बुरा होगा, because definitely no one from Bengal, I mean East Pakistan was liked by those in West Pakistan. That's why the whole story, right? And this is what is happening there. I mean, just think. And I think they're in a very bad shape at this point of time. And what can I say about Bangladesh? 3 months, they got from, it was a bad situation when this revolution happened. It's a worse situation now. I'll get back to you maybe a month, two later, when things settle down after the American elections get over, some analysis of that goes through, and then our own equation with China is clearer as to how do we deal with Bangladesh. We need to deal with it. It's nice to say, oh, we are an independent country, we want to do what we want. You do what you want. I have no issue with it. As far as I'm concerned, we have no issue with what you want to do. But if there is anarchy in Bangladesh, we will not ignore it. And we'll do what we have to do. And what we have to do, we know what we have to do. If we know what we have to do with China, if we know what we have to do with Sri Lanka, we know what we have to do with Maldives, and we also know what we have to do with Pakistan, we know what we have to do with you. And mind you, this is nothing against Bangladesh. This is Indian interests. Indian interests prevail. That's primary to us in India. In the process, India's friendship is always open. India's hand of friendship will always be open with Bangladesh. We like Bangladesh to be good neighbors. Just not neighbors, good neighbors. But at this point of time, for us, you're not a good neighbor at all. Right? We see chaos and we see anarchy. And I leave it at that. I don't have solutions today. I don't even promise a way forward. We will touch base on this 15, 20 days from now, or as developments take place. I thought, some kind of a update was required to all viewers of Ghana Shot on Bangladesh. And that's why I came back and to talk about this. So I'll take some questions and then we'll call it a day, because Deepavali, all of you would like to spend time with your near and dear. Of course, the actual Deepavali is today, but many people do celebrate Deepavali today. Yeah. So happy Deepavali to all. Thanks Maulana ji, thanks Akash, thanks Rohit, thanks JBJP. Yeah, out of syllabus, we will also be manufacturing C295 airplanes, and how much? Yeah, I'll get to that. That's not a big deal. Someday I'll do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It says 800 casualties, 300 from police. Do they talk on that terms? They don't. We don't know. This is one way of putting it. We don't know what the actual story is inside. There might be more. No one's coming out. But it's very clear that student leaders have masterminded it. It's also very clear that they've resorted to criminality. And this whole story was masterminded not in Bangladesh, but externally by that ambassador and company. Right? And after the coup took place and everything was taken place illegally, it's illegal. The president comes out and says, I have not seen a resignation. She was hounded out. Okay? And just think, everyone called her whatever she was. I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment on that. But after she's gone, is Bangladesh happier? It's gone from the frying pan into the fire. That's the problem. Okay? Unrelated, we should start a narrative about US failure and China's continuous success in bribing politicians and media heads even after getting reported by Canadian regime. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's a story we'll handle. What's coming out from Canada is very something different. Yeah. Yeah, lots of love and support, sir, from Ottawa. Yeah, thanks a lot, RS. Thanks for your little contribution. But I must say, what's happening in Canada is absolutely out of comic books. Okay, it's now very clear that the complete Trudeau and gang have done this for their own purposes. I mean, can you imagine a government informing Washington Post first and not telling their own parliament and their own news nothing, and leaking stories about someone else's foreign minister? Like someone said, it's high time we declared, we reopened the Kanishka case and filed a few, cases in our courts and name Pierre Trudeau, this chap's father, as an accomplice to this whole story. We must do that. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. Has anyone seen Eric Garcetti's amazing dance? Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll show it. But I think he's the biggest clown going around this side of Suez. Okay? The fellows come here to dance and let him make some stupid movies and videos. And he can't do the right thing as an ambassador. Okay? I mean, it's actually poor. It's in poor state that an ambassador of the United States of America has to get down to these cheap tricks. It's a storied day. Isn't the evolved and evolving situation in Bangladesh basically reflects a culture of self-destructive revolutionary zeal in Bangladesh? Anarchy and chaos is obvious result. No, yeah, it is. There's no doubt about it. That's why today I picked it up. I don't see many Bangladesh comments here today. Otherwise, they would have filled the whole story with comments. They're watching all this because now they know they're in a soup and they don't have a way out. And let me tell all Bangladeshis, your way out is only India. Let me also tell you. Your way out is not USA, who's going to rob you. Your way out is not China, who's also going to rob you. Your way out is only India. And like I said, India needs to exhibit strategic patience. When we exhibit that strategic patience, all of this, the entire Bangladesh will be our friends. And we want that to happen. Let me be very honest. We want that to happen. We're not against Bangladesh. We want Bangladesh to be our good friends, a good neighbor. So that Bangladesh is part of our growth story. Like the IMF and the World Bank have said for the next this decade at least, India will continue to have its GDP going. It will be the fastest growing economy in the world. And China will keep going down. And let me also share with you that their growth rates of China are fake. Even the projected are fake. Because if the World Bank tomorrow says China will grow at only 2%, a lot of people will lose money in the West. Their shares will tank. So they are saying, okay, they'll grow at 4-5%. And Xi Jinping has today come out and said, we must, in the last 2 months of the year, we must achieve the growth rate. They'll achieve the growth rate because they'll put fake figures. If you think China has gone back from the LAC because it's very strong, you think so? I don't think so. I think they're pretty weak. And I've been telling this for the past 4 years. The day will come when China will have to go back. And the day has come. Yeah. Is this the beginning of the end of Bangladesh or death of Bangladesh as a semi-sovereign, if not sovereign nation? Bangladesh has been apparently banned from elections from under terrorism law as well. See, a lot of things are happening in Bangladesh. It's not in our interest to have the end of Bangladesh or end of death of Bangladesh as a semi-sovereign nation. That's bad for us. We would like Bangladesh to be a sovereign nation, a good democracy, which is a prosperous democracy. But for that, all these rogues who got involved, I call them rogues, who have destroyed their own nation, have to be sorted out. And how, who will sort it out is the question. It has to be catharsis. And at that time, you'll find Bangladesh going down even further. It's going down. It is unstoppable with this present regime. It's a regime. It's not a government. Okay. Great and informative presentation, sir. Happy Deepavali and Dhanteras to you and your viewers. Will regime change in Canada improve relations as, cancel, Deepavali program? Yeah, I think so. Leader of Parliament, I suppose, right? LOP is okay. I think so. I think this Trudeau has to go, and then things have to get sorted out. We need to have dialogue, a political dialogue, and to resolve all this. Right now, Canada has weaponized its police, it's weaponized its media, and it's weaponized all these Sikhs who are fundamentally Palestinians. Okay. So we'll have to come to some accommodation, which we will, I have no doubt. In fact, very soon, my guess is that even USA, after the new president comes and takes stock of the fact, yeah, president, see, the chaps who are fighting Trump or Harris, right, both of them, are not involved in dealing with India and China at this point of time. है ना? वो जब ये वो अपना लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं, यहाँ हमने तो सुलह कर दिया. ऐसी बात नहीं है कि tomorrow India and China are friends. That's not the case. We have a major problems with China. I'll discuss about that. I'll discuss about that separately. But look at it from what I spoke today about what Singapore feels and what Philippines feels. So the dynamic has changed. Suddenly USA will find a way, yeah, this India, which we wanted to put pit against China, is no more prepared to do that. And it is now in a position we pushed him and we pushed him too far. So we'll have to redo something different to keep our balance. So they'll come. You will see the hand opening out. That will happen. That will happen by December. And by January, once the new president, 5th January is when the new president will take office, whoever it is, the whole story will start changing. Maybe at that time, even Bangladesh will resolve it. If Kamala Harris comes, the chances are very less. Okay. In Bharat or USA, this Garcetti is Pannu fielding. Oh, forget it. It's okay. He's a joker. There is potential for balkanization in the medium long run if chaos continues and extreme polarization goes on. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you might be right. For all you know, this might be the start point of creating a little state which Sheikh Hasina spoke of. So let us see how things move. Like I said, we need to see. That's why, if you remember last week, when a lot of things were happening, I kept saying I want to do Bangladesh. I want to do Bangladesh and discuss it all with you because things are going bad there. So I wanted to put a marker. Okay, we did this. We are in control of our knowledge base on Bangladesh. From here, we'll jump to the next step. Otherwise, when I come back next, when a development does take place, and when we do discuss how to get Bangladesh around us, I mean, we need Bangladesh with us. Let's be very clear. It is in our interest that we have a good neighbor. I keep repeating it, and I would like to help all Bangladesh, right? So, but the Bangladeshis don't seem to be so. So they have to be clear whether they're going to get balkanized or not. But that thing has not come up so far. Thank you. for covering this topic, especially considering your valuable professional experience. Thanks a lot. Sir, please make video in Hindi as well. Okay, Gaurav, let me speak my heart out today. आज दिवाली है, अच्छा दिन है. हिंदी में बात कर सकते थे हम, करते थे. बट माई प्रॉब्लम विद हिंदी ऐसी बात नहीं है कि हम हिंदी में बात नहीं कर सकते. शुद्ध हिंदी में भी जितना हमें आता है हम बात कर सकते थे. पर जब हम बात करते थे हिंदी में, हम हमारा जो बातचीत है, हमारा विचार जो है, वो संतुलित विचार है. ये नहीं है कि वो कांग्रेस की तरफ है या बीजेपी की तरफ है, या ये नहीं है कि मुसलमानों की तरफ है या क्रिश्चियंस की तरफ है या हिंदुओं की तरफ है. हम तो भारत की तरफ है. पर जब हम बोलते थे, कुछ लोग आके बोलते थे कि यू नो यू आर एंटी बीजेपी, आप क्या वो कांग्रेस वालों को क्या बोलते हो, आप उस टाइप के आदमी हो वगैरह. मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगा. और वो हिंदी के जो श्रोता है वो उन्होंने बोलना लगा वो हो आप, तो वो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगा. इसीलिए दैट्स व्हाई आई स्विच टू इंग्लिश, राइट. सो लेट मी सी if I don't, and after that the response is gone. Those people don't appear on these shows, and that is one of the reasons why my viewership has gone down. But that's okay. सिद्धांत के ऊपर हमें कोई समझौता करने का इरादा नहीं. व्यूअरशिप के लिए हम गलत नहीं बोलेंगे, ठीक. वो जमाना गया और हम इस देश को बचाते बचाते बुढ़े हो गए. बहुत लोग आप में से तो पैदा भी नहीं हुए होंगे जब हम फौज में तैनात थे सीमा के सरहदों पर. हमें कोई मतलब नहीं था कि कांग्रेस था या बीजेपी था या जनसंघ था. उन दिनों में तो बीजेपी भी नहीं था, तो जनसंघ था. इसीलिए हमने हिंदी छोड़ दिया. तो ये बात है, आप समझिए, राइट. ओके. China has Canada in its pocket. US is sleeping. Maybe that's a few. It's a comic story which is going on. We'll get back to it someday. Jai Hind, sir. Great and informative presentation. Yeah. Diwali, happy Diwali and Dhanteras. Will regime change in Canada improve relations? Yeah, we finished this. We should start a narrative around US failure and China's continuing success. Yeah, that this also we've done, answered. JBJP in Bharat, I feel is Junior Trudeau. Okay. Maulana ji, I wish you could also watch UK PM celebration. Fine. Yeah. Bangladesh has trapped itself into a cycle of revolutionary anarchy. Now stability is what they start revolting against till next anarchy is achieved. They plan for next revolution. Look, this is the history of Bangladesh. They've not had a stable history, unfortunately for them. You have to understand the Bengali mindset. The Bengalis, whether they're here or in Bangladesh, or to some extent even in Tripura and in Assam, there are Bengalis there also. One has dealt with them, and to some extent even the Assamese. They're emotional people. Okay, they emote first and then at times think later. So this is part of that story. And Bangladesh, which has been subjected, just think of Bangladesh. They started off that area, the people there were part of India, the British Raj. Then they became Pakistanis. And then they became Bangladeshis. They've gone through 3 identity changes in 75 years. So there is an issue. They have problems. So I think it will take time for Bangladesh to settle, and we need to help them settle to be at the end of the day. But not at our cost. That's the point. I mean, our cost has to be limited. Okay. Right. Why are Bangladeshis burning and destroying their own country? What good does it do? Plus, Unison Co are running it like their personal freedom with no regard. Well, I don't know. That's what actually stumps me. If you have a set of young students who don't know the difference between right or wrong, okay, and they are being challowed by others, and there are external forces who want to make money out of this country, and they have their own designs. USA has its own strategic designs here. They want, by having an unstable Bangladesh, they feel, and greater presence, USA might be feeling that they will be able to control India and also have a shot at China. So all those games are being played. It's up to the people of Bangladesh to realize that they're being, taken for a ride. And when that happens, and they have the sense to allow political action to take place or political process to take place, will come out of it. There's no fairness at this point of time. What is America intending to achieve by pushing a nation of 15.5 crore Bangladeshi Muslim into Islamic mess? This will hurt Bharat, but Islamism will reach USA too. As well, you have a point, but the way they look at it, now they've got that experience, they'll not allow Bangladeshis to reach USA and do all that. That I think they have their act right. But if they have a base out here, their containment policy against China will be far stronger. And their control over India they believe, will be far stronger. But I think they're in for a few surprises themselves. Like I said, the India-China deal, whether it is partial or even 1 inch movement in the India-China LAC, has a huge implication globally, and it'll play itself out. Sir, does US want to deindustrialize Bangladesh and turn it into a market? Yes, probably. Completely. Given the state, it's also one of them. Yeah. They'd be completely dependent on US, it's possible. Right? The Chinese will give them a run for the money, incidentally. But then the current dispensation will not give Chinese too much leeway. So Bangladesh will have a tough time repaying Chinese debts. But let me also tell you, Sheikh Hasina was smart. She never got China and she never got Bangladesh into too much of a debt with Chinese like Pakistanis have done. The Bangladesh's debt profile is quite balanced. So if China is off, they can handle it. One of China's problem in Bangladesh is they never had enough leeway into Bangladesh. I thought with this government they will get it, but it doesn't appear to be so. To that extent, I'm okay with it. Let USA come and handle Bangladesh the way they want. Let them, finish each other off. Then we'll see what happens. Look, kindly tell about the role of Bangladesh army in the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. I don't think the Bangladesh army also had a choice. The army chief wanted to play a safe role. He wanted to let the process go through. And in the process, probably he also spooked at the last moment. He felt the mass upsurge was something he couldn't control. And he probably did not want to, fire on these protests, so that puts the people against the army. And the army was, in any case, the last bastion. It is still the last bastion of Bangladesh. If that goes into tumult, then it would have been complete chaos. In the thing, he probably facilitated this. Maybe he was also put under some pressure to do all this. The story will come out. We don't know that 100%. But I still have faith in the Bangladesh army. I still have faith in some part of their polity which still want things to happen the right way. But right now it's a free for all. Whether it is Supreme Court, इलेक्शन कमीशन बोर्ड का एग्जाम या मैंने पूरा दिखा दिया आपको. वो बैंक्स को वैसे भी उन्होंने पहले सॉर्ट आउट कर दिया. All the bank heads have been thrown out. All the administration has been whitewashed. So a lot of stories have. I mean, this thing. I see a lot of people, but there are no questions. Earlier, all the Bangladeshis were so vocal in questions. Now they are zero. Yeah, define good neighbor. Definitely not being Bangladesh at this point of time, the way Bangladesh is behaving. Okay, we would like to help your economy. We'd like to stabilize your, irrigation, agriculture, everything. We need to have a good partnership for river water sharing. We need good transit facilities for each other. We need your development so that you can develop. And you want to be you want to really get a good definition of a good neighbor. You must ask the Sri Lanka president, ask the Maldives president. Then you'll know. Are there clear factual observations that the United States of America has unduly or illegally harmed the well-being of Bangladesh and its government? Well, ask that ask the ambassador who's come to cancel our deal and all that. I don't need to do anything more. Yeah, are you are afraid of what is happening in Bangladesh? And I'm not afraid. I'm not bothered. We are not bothered in India what's happening in Bangladesh. Bangladesh can, from my side, do what it wants to itself. But we are concerned because it's our neighbor. We are concerned. We want good relations with Bangladesh. We want Bangladesh to be progressing along with India. We want to take all neighbors along, less Pakistan. Okay. So we're not afraid. Let's be very clear. We couldn't get afraid of China or the EU. Yeah, once a Islamic country, always an Islamic country. They might pretend as if they have become good neighbors, but don't get into that, Vijay. I don't think that is exactly correct. Okay. Uh, you scan news from all over. What do you find or hear or read as to what is the situation in Bangladesh, Hindus now in Bangladesh? They're not well off. They're not well off not in terms of this thing, but they don't have the kind of freedoms which anyone else is supposed to have. But that killings and all that is not gone, and they are under threat. That it's not. There's no silence. It's there. That thing has not gone away. Is it in India's interest that we do not have any relations with Bangladesh and have a hard border? Because anyway, most of Bangladesh will be going in the water in 20 to 30 years. Just no, that's not the way to look at it. That's 30 years away, but till then, there are people, there are neighbors. It is in our interest not to make enemies out of people. India is not that kind of a nation. If it was Pakistan, they'll be foolish to do all this like they've done. But it's not in our interest. It is in our interest that Bangladesh comes out of its mess and progresses. Yeah, Damien, Dehran, how do you have a legal revolution? Yeah, that's up to you. You have to choose how to make it legal. Okay, and how do you work within your own constitutions? You want to make your revolution legal? Have elections, not murders. See, for avoiding refugees, you are anyway doing it. Don't worry about that. And information and educative talk, these people don't even know that they have effectively destroyed their own country and economy called Bangladesh. Yeah, thriving economy. It's doing so well. They're burning their own textile factories, they're burning their own shoe factories, they're burning their own people who have to give them wages. Where will they go? One of our big famous media channels reportedly leaked published location place of Sheikh Hasina's stay in Bharat. How is this even possible? What's the punishment? Well, that's to the government. I don't want to get involved with it. Happy Deepak Buckley, as we say in Bangladesh, festival prayers, love and peace for all in Bangladesh and India. Thanks a lot, Asra. So nice of you. Right, but I've shown you a mirror today. That's about all. Hasina wasn't elected prime minister. 15 years of peoples of Bangladesh couldn't vote. Please don't say that she was. Look, Ibrahim, I don't know whether she was elected or not. That's your headache. What she was to you is your headache. What you are doing is your headache. What we know is what we can talk of. Okay. We're not going to fall in line with your thinking. Thinking has led you where you are. Unusual trend for Islamic countries is that in the presence of a power vacuum, the usual trend, the mullahs step in and take over the or military forms a dictatorship and the country becomes a crapshoot, right? Yeah, this is where it's going. The Jamaat is coming up and things like that. Let's see, this whole story is yet to be played out. Can what can we do more to make our good efforts get appreciated in Bangladesh? We can do nothing at this point. You know, a chap has fever, all you can do is give him paracetamol. And in this case, if he'll not take paracetamol from you, he wants to do his own stunt. Let him do it. All right. It is not like they don't know about China. Yeah, I don't know whether we have any solution for them at this point of time or they'll listen. Because the government is illegal and that illegal government is sheltering illegal people, murderers and looters and all that. And the government and the army is quiet and there's nothing happening. So let us see how things go. Canada is doing all nuisance on behalf of USA, but why and for what end? Well, it's very clear. USA wants to do it to put India in a corner. Canada and Trudeau want to do it so that he can survive politically. As simple as that. He can't do anything against the Chinese. He thought India was a softer mark and he's taken us on. But now he'll find the true problems which he's going to face. Do you have any insight into the food and water security of the region? Yes, I have. I'll do a separate show on that. Looking at Bangladesh news, it seems like the mass support the present government in Bangladesh. Why do you think anarchy will be there? New reality in Bangladesh. Things seem to improve. You think they're improving with the way things are happening there? Tell me one thing in this news in the past 2 weeks where you see any improvement, Malloy. Don't live in La La Land. The industrial units are reported to have shut down in Bangladesh. How long will it take them to revive? Can Bangladesh in the meanwhile go through extreme? Yeah, all this is possible. When they'll revive, how will they revive? I don't see much happening. Okay. What policies do you suggest for arresting human loss of human talent to USA? How do we get our children to reconsider seeking green cards? You have to create employment opportunities here. When you don't create employment opportunities here, they'll go there. As simple as that. And this is not new. This has been there since the time when you and I were children. What's so new? We both of us have retired, but still our children are going. In my time, all my school friends, the best of my school friends are sitting in America. I don't even know where they are. I was one of those chaps who went and joined the army, and I'm here talking to you. So that's how it is. Yeah. Dunga, why? Thanks for this session. As a Muslim, I'm ashamed of my nation treating our citizens with different faith with every day intolerance and violence. I hope some good sense will prevail. I also hope so. Look, Sabad Emisid, you're talking of your Sheikh Hasina amending parts of the constitution without required referendum and all that. Why? I have no problem. You do what you want. Please understand, I have no problem with whatever Bangladesh does. You want to be an anarchy? Be an anarchy. Okay. You want to have a constitution? Have it. You want to change the constitution? Change it. You want all those students who are murderers to be your next prime minister? Elect them. Do what you want. I'm not even interested. I'm analyzing it because you're my neighbor. What happens in your house is something which I have to know. I will know. Okay? Whatever you do, I will come to know. And I must keep track of it. Because if your house is burning, my house will also burn tomorrow. I have to ensure that when your house burns, my house doesn't burn. As simple as that. You do what you want. But when you're finished with you're burning your house down on your own, okay, then you let us know. We'll send the fire tender. Because pani chhadne ke liye hum aayenge. Don't worry. Happy Diwali and dedicated voice that can. Yeah, thanks a lot. Same to you, Arunachal. There are a lot of questions. Yeah. Yeah, you got the Bengali mindset spot on, emotional people. Yeah, too much emotion, less reason. I always see this session and thanks for discussing Bangladesh in the show. We appreciate. Thanks a lot. Yeah, let's look at this. Is interesting. Will election results might lead to civil strife in USA? Let's see. Let's see how USA goes through. Because this election for USA is also quite a strange election. I've not seen such a retrograde election as it's going on in the past quite a few years, right? So, what else? I don't see any questions. Yeah, good evening, sir. We'll start my session now. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I don't see any. Yeah, yeah, I am from Bangladesh and I assure you that it is absolutely a military coup. See, you have your own thing. Okay, saying, yeah, Venki says, your thoughts on the security of city of Agartala, which is virtually on India-Bangladesh border. Its airport runway touches the fence. Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, when you land into Agartala, the plane flies over Bangladesh and then lands. And now, incidentally, Agartala was my headquarters when I was commanding the brigade, my artillery brigade. It's in Agartala. And but that part of Bangladesh will not get affected because there's not much uh, development there. In Bangladesh, all the political action takes place in Dhaka and their major centers. That area will not have a problem, and plus we have adequate forces there. So that's not a problem. There's no. I don't see any security for Agartala. Yeah. Do you have network with senior military of Bangladesh retired? Can they come? Let me try. Let me try. Yeah. Sir, from Sri Lanka also got a lot of Tamil migrated after India withdrew support from Prabhakaran. Look at their life now. Any migration start, same thing happened. But yeah, something like that. You're going to have this problem. It's not going to be an easy affair. Okay. And yeah. Why are we close with neighbors like this? Don't get involved with this. You have to look with who you are and with who you have. It's not a matter of curse. Every country has its problems with neighbors. We'll handle them. उसमें क्या है? Hmm. Yeah. So Irfan Khan, what about Akshay Chin and PK? Mind your own. Don't worry. वो भी उसका भी time आएगा. फिक्र मत करो. We agree they are emotional people, but in emotion, people take wrong decisions and think and repent later. Your thoughts? I think you hit the nail on the head, Pankaj. Completely. Look, as of now, what is your assessment of what Chinese media is saying on China Bharat de-escalation and LAC? Are they saying positive things towards Bharat now without inflammatory ego and all? I did this show other day completely with on P Gurus on this only. Go see it again and then ask me the question. Yeah, I think Hindus as a whole has to back Hindutva. No, I don't think so. I think that's a wrong way of doing things. Do you think extremism will also spread in border states like Bangladesh, West Bengal? Possible. Let's not rule anything out. I Okay. So I think we've done. Other questions are not very great and all that. So fine. Have a happy Deepavali. I'll get back to you day after tomorrow. Tomorrow will not have anything. Day after tomorrow, we're going to talk about the great Himalayan blunder of China. So I understand a lot of you have a lot of questions on China, and I'm going to, the whole of next week we're going to do China only. So because that's very important for India, that's an important thing. What's happening, that development is important. Globally also, it's going to affect us. So we're going to do very different things. Monday we're going to talk of with General Vinod Bhatia. We're going to talk of the Great Himalayan Blunder. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk with General D.P. Pandey, who was the co-commander of 15 Corps, about the LAC, what's the effect on Kashmir and Pakistan. And then we're going to have another webinar on CASA on the military aspects of this LACD and de-escalation and D. So we'll talk just military, no politics, no nothing. We'll just talk about the military implications in Eastern Ladakh, the Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim and things like that. So I have a lot of things lined up for China because our focus has to be that. Okay. With this, thank you, good evening, and Jai Hind to all of you.